Vanakkam. Hello friends. The divine Murugu, the fearsome warrior hunter god, denoted by the Murugu symbol and the skeletal imagery in the IVC, the antiquity of which is traced to the Tamil country, with the same Murugu symbol being found in the stone cell discovered at Sembiyan Kandiyur near Mayavaram, attesting to the worship of this deity from long ago in these regions, and the Tolhapiyam mentioning him as the presiding deity of the hilly regions, the Kurinji, Seyon Meya Maivarai Ulahamum. From the Kurinji regions, the Murugu deities worship spread to all the other regions of the Tamil country, Marudam, Neidal, Mullai and Palai. கடுஞ்சூல் மகளிர் பேணி கைத்தொழுது பெருந்தோட் சாலினி மடுப்ப ஒருசார் அருங்கடி வேலன் முருகொடு வணங்கி அரிகட்கண்ணியம் கரங்க நேர் நிறுத்த கார்மலர் குறிஞ்சி சூடி கடம்பின் சீர்மிகு நெடுவேல் பேணி. கடுஞ்சூல் மகளிர், pregnant women, are going to worship the Murugu deity, accompanied by Perunthol Salini, the broad-shouldered Salini, who is the female priestess, the male equivalent of the Velan. Where are they going? To the Kadamba tree wherein resides the spirit of Murugu, and the Arungadi Velan, the fearsome Velan, is waiting there to conduct the Veriyattu. The association of pregnant women with the worship of Muruga was also traced to IVC in our previous episode. It's very interesting to note that in Bengal, Orthodox women made images in clay of the Lord Murugu and offered it in worship of progeny on the last day of the holy month of Kartigai, that is Samkranti. Now, this worship of Murugan finds the earliest mention in Sangam literatures in two places. One is our own Tirupurangundram, the other being Tiruchir Alaivai, that is Tiruchendur. Soormarungu Karutha Sudarilai Neduvel Sinammigu Murugan Tanparangundratu Anduvan Padiya Sendukelu Naduvarai goes a poem in the Ahana Nooru, where the poet Anduvan sings of Parangundram as Sandukelu Neduvarai. Neduvarai meaning the hilly regions covered with tall dense sandalwood trees, an association that we would find very hard to imagine in today's context. Talking of Tiruchir Alaivai, Kodinudangu Marihil Koodal Kudadu, Palpori Magnai Velkodi Uyariya, Odia Vidavin Nediyon Kundrattu Namanur Alaivai, meaning the fearful coastal regions of Tiruchir Alaivai, probably in those days rather isolated and full of dense forests, with the Murugu with his peacock flag as mentioned by Palpori Magnai Velkodi, Magnai meaning the peacock. Now in his work Sanga Noolhalil Murugan, the author P.L. Sami points out how worship of Murugan in terms of any other place in Tamil country does not find a mention before the 2nd century AD, Tirupurangundram and Tiruchendur being the only two places. Starting from there, he goes on to explain how the word say meaning Murugu, which has many meanings, some of which are youthfulness and beauty, are never associated with Murugan in Sangam literature. He in fact refutes the work of Thiruvi Kalyanasundaranar, the great Tamil scholar, Murugan Alladhu Alagu, and goes on to point out how in even the few places where the word Murugu is used, it is always to denote fragrance, as in Murahu Muran Kollum Tembai Kanniya. From there, he goes on to show how in even the Rig Veda, the earliest mention of the term Murugu is in term of Muradeva, a demon god, which the noted historian Kamarkar associates with the Murugu deity itself, and Sayanar, the noted Sanskrit grammarian, who is known for his commentaries on the Vedas and who belongs to the 14th century AD, established the root word for this Muradeva as coming from Marana, which means killing and destruction. The first appearing Sanskrit name for Murugan is Skandan, which also means destruction. P.L. Sami also points out how two of the Sangam works, Paribadal and Tirumurugatrupadai, have been denoted by many scholars as belonging to a later period, and though there are very many reasons attested to this, P.L. Sami here traces the worship of Murugan as mentioned in Paribadal and Tirumuruhatrupadai to attest a later date to these works. In Paribadal, the stories of the birth of Muruga from Mahabharata to Kumara Sambhava are narrated, so much so that the commentator Parimel Azhagar mentions that these are Bauraniha stories, meaning they are from northern Sanskrit literature. And in many of the places, only the Vedic way of worshipping Muruga is put forth, where there is only one poem where the Velan Veriyadal is mentioned, and that Kai Kadavul Sei Sevvel Salva Taliva Yena Peye Vidavinul Velan Yetum Veriyum Ulave Avai Vayumalla Poyumalla. Peye Vidavinul. The Velan Veriyadal is mentioned here in a slightly derogatory note, and Kai say Kadavul here, Kai meaning angry. Later commentators here translate it to mean Kai also means fire. So, Agni's son Murugan, which association comes from the north. Now, the northern traditions of Murugu worship come into the Tamil country with the advent of the Pallava rule that established itself from 275 AD with Kanjipuram as its capital. So, this becomes a reason for Paribadal getting a later date. And if we go to Tirumuruhatrupadai, here it is kind of a cusp where the Vedic worship is also given an exalted status, along with the Velan Veriyadal, the description of the Veriyadal at Palamudichole, which we saw in detail in the previous episode. Nakirar also mentions Andanar Velvi Orkume Orumuham. The 6 faces of the Lord have different aspects of protection, and one face protects the Brahmins who are doing the fire sacrifices. And here, Tirumuruhatrupadai is given a later date by many scholars. Kamil Zwelabil, the noted Czech scholar, connects the linguistic language of the work itself to Nedinal Vadai, his very favorite Sangam work, and is almost sure that the Nakira Devar who composed Nedinal Vadai could not have been the same Nakira Deva Nayanar who composed Tirumuruhatrupadai. K.N. Sivaraja Pillai, the noted historian, has his own viewpoint. Aatrupadai is a kind of a classified literary tradition wherein a poet is there and he guides his fellow poets towards a patron to get riches or help. Aatrupaduthudal. Thus you have Pornar Aatrupadai, Panar Aatrupadai, Sirban Aatrupadai, all in a specific context, and he points out how Sangam poets would not have broken this convention. The idea of Aatrupaduthudal or guiding one towards the Lord himself for salvation must have been an evolutionary thinking process which would have involved a time lag. But the most convincing argument for the dating of Tirumuruhatrupadai is given by P.L. Swami, where in singing the Kundru Thoradal, the first line goes, Paingodi Narekai Idai Idubu Velan, where Narekai is the Jadikai, and Jadikai is not native to India. It was brought in from Malaysia in the 6th century AD and cultivated here. So herein he gives a conclusive proof for a later dating of Tirumuruhatrupadai. From here, P.L. Swami goes on to show how in ancient Sangam works, the elephant is shown as the vehicle or the mount of Murugu. And how does this association come about? Because being a warrior god, the kings were associated and praised by comparing with Lord Muruga himself, as done by Kapilar in a Purananuru song in praise of Seraman Selva Kadungo Vadiyadan, Perumigu Seye Nin Padanar Kaiye. You are as strong as the great warrior king Muruga. No wonder the king's royal elephant was made into vehicle of the Lord himself. And even in Tirumuruhatrupadai, this tradition is followed, where Nakirar sings, Voda Putkai Pinimuham Valti. Pinimuham here denotes the elephant, and the commentator notes this is the royal elephant, but also could be considered to be the peacock. Now, that is not possible because in those days, in Sangam literary convention, the peacock was considered to be the symbol of Lord Muruga's flag, as mentioned in Palpori Magnai Velkodi Uyariya in Ahananuru, Palpori Magnai Wongiya Putkodi in Paripadal, and even in Tirumuruhatrupadai itself, Nakirar sings, Varana Kodiyodu Vairpada Niriyi. Now, the peacock itself was considered a mystical bird by many cultures across the Mediterranean, where it was shown as a bird that will carry the soul of the dead to the heavens. In the early Harappan period, around 3000 millennium BCE, large burial urns were excavated, and this burial urn had the imagery of a flying peacock etched on the outside, surrounded by stars associating with its divinity. So, the association of peacock and Muruga could have happened in another context. Nakirar again sings Koli Ongiya Vendradu Virarkodi, meaning that the Koli, that is the cock, becomes the flag post of Lord Muruga. Now, how did this shift happen? To explore some of the iconography of Muruga, we have to go to the north, where the Yaudeyas were militant rulers who ruled the regions between the rivers Indus and the Ganges during the 5th century BCE, and they were great worshippers of Muruga. So much so that they ruled in the name of the Lord, and whenever their kings were victorious and they issued commemorative coins, the coins depicted Muruga. Here, the Yaudeyas, since they were also representing their king's victory, made the form of Muruga to resemble their kings, and there he was standing with a spear in one hand and a rooster towards his side. Some of these earliest bronze coins have been excavated in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, eastern Punjab, and as far as Bahalapur in Pakistan. And for the first time here, one of the coins carries an image of the deity Murugan with 6 heads. Why? We do not know. In the 4th century BCE, the Yaudeyas were defeated by Samudragupta, and their entire empire was annexed to the Gupta Empire. And from there on, the Guptas also became huge worshippers of Lord Muruga. By the 4th century AD, when the great poet Kalidasa composed his Kumara Sambhava, by that time Murugan had become a national deity, and the iconography of him riding a peacock appears for the first time in the Gupta Empire, and the strength of the association can be seen from the names of the kings who ruled then, Kumaragupta and Skandagupta. The Kushanas also worshipped Muruga and issued commemorative coins in the 2nd century AD. And the Huvishka dynasty, who ruled from the territories of Gandhara, which are now in Pakistan, were also great Muruga worshippers. And the world famous Gandhara art has sculptural depictions of Muruga with his own coat of arms. Now, during all this time, in Tamil country, no inscriptions, no coins, and no imagery of Muruga was yet to appear. And the Pallavas, after their coming into the southern territory from the 3rd century AD onwards, slowly enabled the amalgamation of these North Indian worship forms with that of the Tamil country. But even they worshipped Muruga as Somaskandar, the child deity. So they never felt the need to create a separate worshipping temple for Muruga, and it is very surprising to see that the earliest known temple for Lord Muruga is here in Madurai in Anamalai. Around the 9th century AD, the Ladan Kovil was constructed. All the other individual temples for Muruga came around during the later Chola rule, even though Professor Neelakanta Sastry points out how temples for Muruga came about in the Andhra territory of the Nagarjuna Valley and the Gundur Valley as early as the 3rd century AD. Now, the child deity Murugar. We know that Murugan is denoted by the term Sei in many Sangam poems, Sei also meaning child, the earliest association of Muruga with a mother goddess. We know that Kottravai was a very fierce warrior goddess in Tamil culture, worshipped by all the 3 ancient kings, the Cheras, the Cholas and the Pandyas, the Kottravai Durga connect about which we saw in a previous episode. Being a warrior goddess and Muruga being a warrior deity, in the matriarchal Tamil society, Murugu was soon associated as the child of Kottravai, while our ancient forefathers never felt the need for Murugu to have a father. And here again in Tirumurugatrupadai, Malaimahal Mahane Matror Kootre, Vetri Velpor Kottravai Siruva, Vilayani Sirappin Palayol Kulavi. Palayol Kulavi and Kottravai Siruva are associations with Murugar found only in Tamil country, and the commentator Nachinar Kiniyar for Kottravai Siruva, Kottravai he mentions is Vanadurkai, which even today is worshipped very greatly in the Tanjavur belt. Now notice that in the same verses he also says Malai Mahal Mahane, meaning he is the son of goddess Parvati of the Himalayas. So during this phase, Kottravai becomes Uma Devi, and by default, Uma Devi's husband, our Lord Shiva, becomes Muruga's father. There are very many stories in the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and the Kumara Sambhava giving different versions relating to the birth of Lord Muruga. Tarakasura was a big demon who was terrorizing the Devas, and the Devas, led by Indra, went to Shiva and made a request to protect them from this Ashura. Tarakasura finds a mention in Mahabharata and Kumara Sambhava, but in none of the Sangam literary works, whereas Sur, which is an evil spirit supposed to be found in the mountainous passageways and water bodies and mentioned in several literary works in Sangam traditions, the mythical connect of which is Surapadman, never finds a mention in Mahabharata or Kumar Sambhava. P.L. Swami points this very fascinatingly. In Mahabharata, the earliest association of Muruga as in the son of the fire god Agini later becomes the son of Lord Shiva himself. And Muruga, who is known as Devasenapati, the commander-in-chief of the army of the gods, successfully defeats Tarakasura, and Indran, in his gratitude, gives the hands of his daughter Devasena, which itself means army of the gods, in marriage to Muruga. Here, a myth is born where Valli is made to be the wife of Muruga. We saw in the previous episode Kodinilai, Kandali, Valli, where Valli was originally the term used to denote Velan Veriyadal itself, the Muruga's manifestation. And in the Kurinji regions, the honey, the millet flour and Valli Kalangu, which is tapioca, Ten, Tinaimavu, Valli, were three very important staple food items that nature provided them. Literally, hunter-gatherer, denoted by Murugan and Valli, later became the couple of Muruga and Valli. So many interesting associations with this ancient deity all over the Indian subcontinent. The Ellora caves, which belong to the 6th century AD, the Rameshwara cave depicts the Thahapan Sami, where Muruga gives the Pranava mantra to Shiva, to which our own Swami Malai Thiruveragam is associated as a relief structure, which is very fascinating. And Muruga is one of the successful deities exported from Tamil country to many Southeast Asian countries, where even today in countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Mauritius, South Africa and the Union Islands, he is a god of worship. And what is interesting is that while the Vedic ritual kind of worship has been well established for all the other deities in the Hindu pantheon, Muruga is probably the only deity where the ancient association with the demon god is still continued today in terms of the way he is worshipped by the people with the Alahu Kuttudal, the Kavadi Eduthal, the Seval Arupu. All these associations attest to a continuous living tradition, more about which we will explore in our next episode. Vanakkam.